Hey guys, Josh with Relentless Digital back to discuss. Right now, most of the United States is under a weather advisory and some weather that has not been seen in almost 100 plus years. How do you use this not only to grow your business now, but when you slow down after this rush? Stay tuned and we will walk through this today. All right, so most of us in the trades have a busy season. And right now, like I mentioned, the weather in the country is just crazy how busy and nuts a lot of people are. And that includes us here in Wisconsin. So what do we do now? Obviously, right now, you don't need to turn your marketing on. You don't need to put any paid ads out. Your phones are blowing up. What do you do, or what should you have in place now so that way in 3 weeks or 3 months, whenever the next slow time and you're starting to look for work, what do you need to have in place in your business now? Now, the first thing that I would have in place with your business, especially if you use a CRM program like House Call Pro or Service Titan, is you need to set up a Zapier account. And the reason I say that is, for instance, I don't have it on this account here, and I'm not going to show any client accounts, but you need to have a Zap set up so that way every single time you book it and complete a job, that customer's information, their email address, most importantly, gets put into an email marketing platform like Constant Contact. What does that do for you? That constantly builds your list. So now when it slows down in the spring or after this mad rush and you get caught up, now you have email addresses that you can go retarget to people. Because how many people do you think, especially with all the plumbing emergencies and all the HVAC emergencies, how many people do you think now are going to want maintenance to make sure that their unit doesn't have these issues again? And that's like the first step that I would say you guys need to implement, is get something like that set up now so your this list continues to grow. And the reason I mention email is there's some interesting stats, and you can find these all over the web, but this is Opt-in Monster, and look at this chart right here. So when people wake up in the morning, 58% of people check their email before their social media or any of the other alerts on their phone. And I think it showed up to 92% of online adults use email. Okay, not that many use social media, but they use email, and they use email to communicate these days. Now, people are getting better at unsubscribing to stuff they don't want to see. However, this is the next step in the process. You're growing this big email marketing list. Do not spam them with tons of offers for a cheap tune-up or cheap maintenance, or your best HVAC system or dream cleaning offer or electrical panel upgrade. People don't want to see that stuff. If they want to do that, they'll go to Google and they'll go search for it. If you constantly bombard them and you act like you're a retail store, you're going to have problems with your domain and stuff like that, your ability to get that email to their inbox. So what I recommend is education. And there's a lot of ways to go about this. One of the ways that I go about finding educational pieces and turning them into my own content is I just do a search. Top 5 plumbing problems. Okay. So what happens here is, look at this right down here, 10 most common plumbing problems. And now you can either turn 10 plumbing problems into one video, or even more important, you can take 10 problems and turn them into separate videos each for 30, 60, 90 seconds. Just talk about what causes dripping faucets, how can they prevent that. Send that video out to your list. okay, or your email list. These are the things that are so important structurally in your business to have in place now, because what happens is you are busy. You have so many calls right now. Marketing is the last thing on your mind. But what happens is then all of a sudden we start slowing down. Oh crap, I got to fill the board. I got to add more calls. I got to go spend more money. And you're scrambling at the last minute. You constantly have to be looking ahead. Even though it's so crazy busy right now, your eyes feel like they're going to pop out of your head. You have to look towards the future. What does 4 weeks from now or a month from now, what does 2 months, 6 months, 12 months look for you? If you do not consider this stuff, you will constantly have these ebbs and flows in your business, and it's going to look like a roller coaster instead of more of a nice, even, steady ride. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments below, because I guarantee if you have questions on this stuff, other people have questions on this stuff, and I would love to start a conversation so we can all grow and prosper together. I always do ask this towards the end of my videos. If you made it this far and this content was helpful and you see some value in this, either A, share this with another business owner that you know, like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon down at the bottom. That helps me with YouTube's ranking factors and helps my video be shown to more people. But it also helps me grow my channel, which is really important to me. And hopefully you guys are not killing your staff and you're making it through this tough weather challenge. I do look forward to talking to several of you in the coming weeks once things slow down, and we will see you next time. And until then, stay relentless.